You will be misunderstood. It's inevitable. Every human, when you are talking to somebody, there's an opportunity to be misunderstood. You don't have that internal ability to contemplate and work things out and stuff like that. So you will be misunderstood. One of my least favorite things about humans is that you can say one thing. For example, you can say, I like donuts, and people will create assumptions based off of that. So they'll say, okay, he likes donuts, he'll probably like munchkins too. Or maybe he likes this thing as well. And it's like, that's a part of misunderstanding. When humans decide to create additional conclusions when they are only given one, and this prevents, proper communication between humans and things of this nature. But there are things that we can do to remedy this problem of communication or misunderstanding. Number one, understand yourself. Understanding yourself means learning yourself. And don't just seek to understand, understand everything that comes into your way and that you choose to accept. Understanding is just gaining knowledge about, gaining an awareness about, and you can have an educated discussion about this thing. But understanding is feeling the proprietary energy of a certain thought or knowledge base. It feels as though this knowledge is now a part of you rather than just something circulating in your mind. Understanding yourself is one of the hardest things for a lot of humans. A lot of the reason because we like to lie to ourselves. We like to just create realities out of partial realities or other realities. And one thing that prevents humans from understanding themselves is that you've always been told you weren't good enough, or you've always been told that just something was wrong. You've always been told X, Y, and Z. And so you choose not to look to self because self has always been labeled as something that's not advantageous, something that isn't good enough. So why would I listen to self? Why would I try to understand myself if, people have always told me that myself is pretty much sucks. So who are you? When I think about understanding myself, I think about who I am. That's where I would start. Who am I? Who is David? You have to be able to know who you are and know what you're not, or know who you're not. Because when we go out into the world and we are exposed to different conversations, different circles, we can change so much in so many different ways that our identity is not coming from anything authentic, but only from things we see in the world, which are not authentic to ourselves. When you begin to understand yourself, you become more in tune with your authentic self. And one thing that humans struggle with is authenticity. We love to lie. We love to be something other than ourselves, if only for a moment. And that's not good. Because authenticity creates the best avenue for success in life. If I were to become successful in something that is not truly me, how can it be sustained? How can I have a low stress or no stress experience with this thing if it is not truly me, if it is not coming naturally from my actions. And it's not to say that, hey, every time you authentically have the thought of killing somebody, that you should do it. It's knowing that some things that come into the viewport and some things that come into the mental space just simply are not in alignment with who we are. And so we have to decipher those things. And we could not decipher those things if we do not know who we are or if we have not tried to understand ourselves. When was the last time you were in a situation and genuinely asked yourself, why do I feel this way right now? Why did I make that action? Why did I give that reaction? Why? And asking I'd say an absurd number of why questions is going to be your quickest way to understanding yourself. You'll understand why you felt these ways. And the great part about ourselves is that we can have introspection inside of our mind where no one can hear it. So we don't have to lie to ourselves. Even on the outside, we don't have to, but in the face of other humans, most times we like to, just to appear better. But in our mind, in our mental space, we can be authentic. We can tell ourselves, I didn't do that because I wanted to see that kid smile. I wanted to do that so that the parents thanked me after. And so in those situations, you can begin to see your reasoning in doing things, your path of logic in taking action. And so when you're going into a business partnership, you're able to say, hey, I bring this to the table in this way because I'm good at this. You would not be able to do that if you did not understand yourself. Number 2, know that others have no clue who you are. Others are in your life literally maybe 5% of the time. The other 95% is all you experiencing you with yourself, you thinking about things, you walking, you going to do this stuff. Imagine you only shared about 50 different thoughts you had that day, but you had 100,000 millions? Know that they don't necessarily know you. They only know what you are projecting or what has been projected to them in different present moments, and they recall it in the past. It is not personal when someone misunderstands you. It is on their part. One thing that I have been able to do is seeking to understand and being open rather than being closed off and assuming, excuse me. And these are things that are adverse to good communication. So remembering that truly only me can know myself. When I go into situations and I am misunderstood, I'm not beating that person over the head trying to get them to understand what I'm saying or to see where I'm coming from. There is no possible way that someone can see where you're coming from. Why? Because our perspectives are cultivated by what we perceive. If that person does not perceive one-to-one the same as what I've perceived, how can they have my same exact standpoint or perspective or vantage point in a specific subject? There's no possible way. And so you cannot have these expectations for people. Misunderstanding is a part of life. especially in human relation. There are some things we share. There are some things that we understand with each other. But you have to understand, being misunderstood is not out of the ordinary, and you have to deal with it. If you are misunderstood and it's breaking you apart, you have some introspection to do. Whenever I am misunderstood, I am perfectly fine. Why? Because I know who I am, I know where I'm going, I know all of these things. I've been over this progress with myself to learn a little bit about what I want and what I am going to do in this lifetime. So when a person that is external from me has not been in that path with me, I will not fault them for not seeing my perspective. I will say, hey, you have your perspective, I have my perspective. I think that we can both live with each of our perspectives. Perfect. Problem solved. But yeah, man, moral of the story, misunderstanding should not be a reason why you have bad mental health. If you feel like, oh, nobody's understanding me, oh my gosh, I don't have anybody real around me, go get some new friends first of all, because some people are going to understand you. Go get some new friends, change your circle. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I hope y'all learned something in this video. Uh I'm probably going to do a longer video on this one just because understanding can go into so many different avenues. For example, when I say things like I'm about to go run 5 miles today, some people will scoff at that and think, what in the world? This guy is insane. But the person that just got done finishing 100 miles is gonna understand that perfectly, bro. He's gonna say, bro, I've been there, bro. Get that work in. You know what I'm saying? Because he's been there. He understands what it looks like to want to go do that. Go do that. Have the desire. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, man. There's a lot of different things that you can utilize to remedy misunderstanding in life, and just know that you are not alone. But in knowing yourself 100%, you are pretty much alone. Um, except for not taking into account the creator. So, yeah, man. Keep loving yourselves, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.